Welcome back, Rare Coin Insider. The 1994 D. Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that millions of Americans have handled without giving it a second thought. It has quietly passed from one pocket to another, traveled through cash registers, vending machines, banks, and collections for decades, and yet many people never stop to wonder whether the small silver-colored coin they are holding could actually be worth more than 10 cents. That simple question has inspired countless collectors to search through jars of loose change, old family coin albums, inherited collections, and forgotten piggy banks, hoping to discover something extraordinary hidden in plain sight. The story of the 1994 D dime begins at the Denver Mint, where millions upon millions of these coins were produced for circulation throughout the United States. Every single coin started its journey as a blank metal disc known as a planchet. Before becoming the finished coin that people recognize today, each planchet went through an incredibly precise manufacturing process involving cutting, cleaning, upsetting the rim, and finally receiving its detailed design under tremendous pressure from hardened steel dies. Every strike had to reproduce even the smallest details of the design, from the strands of hair on President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to the tiny lettering around the edge of the coin. The 1994 D dime carries the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on its obverse. Roosevelt has appeared on the dime since 1946, just 1 year after his passing. His appearance on America's 10-cent coin was not chosen randomly. During his lifetime, Roosevelt played an important role in supporting efforts to combat polio through what became known as the March of Dimes campaign. Millions of Americans donated dimes to help fund research and treatment, making the denomination forever associated with Roosevelt's legacy. Because of this connection, placing his portrait on the dime became both a tribute and a reminder of how small contributions from ordinary citizens could make an extraordinary difference. Looking closely at the obverse reveals many interesting details that most people overlook. Roosevelt's portrait faces left, and around the edge of the coin appears the word Liberty. The national motto, "I in God we trust," is positioned to the left of the portrait, while the date 1994 appears toward the lower right. Just beside the date sits a tiny but very important letter, the mint mark D. This small letter tells collectors that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Although it occupies only a tiny portion of the design, that single letter provides valuable information about the coin's origin and often becomes one of the first details collectors examine. Turning the coin over reveals another elegant design that has remained familiar to generations of Americans. At the center stands a torch representing liberty. On either side are branches symbolizing peace and strength. The olive branch represents peace, while the oak branch symbolizes strength and independence. Together, these elements create a balanced design that has become one of the most recognizable reverses in American coinage. Surrounding the reverse are the inscriptions "United States of America" and "1 dime," along with the motto "E pluribus unum." These inscriptions, combined with the torch and branches, create a clean yet meaningful composition that reflects the nation's ideals. Despite the dime's small size, every element had to be engraved with remarkable precision so that millions of coins could be struck consistently throughout the year. The specifications of the 1994 D. Roosevelt dime are another reason collectors pay close attention to it. The coin weighs approximately 2.268 grams, and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. Its thickness measures about 1.35 millimeters, making it one of the smallest circulating coins in the United States. Since 1965, Roosevelt dimes have been composed of a clad construction consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the coin its distinctive silver appearance, while containing no circulating silver, unlike dimes produced before 1965. Many people mistakenly assume that every old-looking dime must contain silver, but that is not true. The composition change implemented during the mid-1960s means that a 1994 D dime is a clad coin rather than a silver coin. Nevertheless, its lack of silver content does not automatically mean it has no collectible value. Collectors evaluate coins based on many different factors beyond precious metal content. One of the first characteristics collectors examine is the condition of the coin. A heavily circulated 1994 D dime may display scratches, worn lettering, flattened details, and dull surfaces from decades of use. Such examples are generally worth only face value unless they possess a significant mint error. On the other hand, coins that escape circulation immediately after leaving the mint may still retain their original mint luster. These uncirculated examples often display brilliant reflective surfaces and sharply defined details that make them far more desirable to collectors. Professional grading services evaluate coins using the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor 1 all the way to mint state 70. Even a small difference in grade can dramatically influence collector demand. A coin graded mint state 65 may be considered attractive, while one graded mint state 68 or higher becomes increasingly scarce because very few circulation strike coins survive in such exceptional condition. The difference between these grades may involve tiny contact marks that are nearly invisible without magnification, yet experienced collectors carefully study every detail before assigning a value. Another feature that attracts attention is strike quality. Even though millions of coins are produced using identical equipment, not every coin receives the same quality strike. Some display crisp lettering, sharp torch details, and fully defined hair strands on Roosevelt's portrait. Others may show weaker details due to die wear or variations in striking pressure. Collectors often pay premiums for exceptionally well-struck examples because they showcase the design exactly as intended by the engravers. The Denver Mint has a long history of producing circulation coinage for the United States. Established to help meet the nation's growing demand for coins, it became known for striking billions of pieces each year. By 1994, modern coining technology had greatly improved efficiency, allowing enormous quantities of dimes to be produced with remarkable consistency. Despite this precision, however, no manufacturing process is perfect, and that is where some of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting begin. Occasionally, tiny mistakes occur during production. A die may become clogged with grease, causing certain design elements to appear weak or missing. A planchet may not feed correctly into the striking chamber, resulting in an off-center strike. Sometimes a coin is struck more than once, creating dramatic overlapping images known as double strikes. Other errors include broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, retained cuds, lamination errors, and rotated dies. Genuine mint errors are relatively uncommon, and collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for dramatic examples that have been authenticated. Because mint errors attract attention, they also attract counterfeiters and altered coins. Unscrupulous individuals sometimes modify ordinary coins to imitate rare errors. This is why experienced collectors recommend having potentially valuable discoveries authenticated by respected third-party grading services before assuming they possess a rarity. Authentication protects both buyers and sellers while preserving confidence within the coin collecting community. Millions of Americans unknowingly keep old coins in coffee cans, dresser drawers, inherited collections, desk organizers, and forgotten storage boxes. Every year, remarkable discoveries are made simply because someone decided to look more carefully at the coins they already owned. Although the vast majority of 1994 D dimes are common circulation coins, searching through change remains one of the most enjoyable aspects of the hobby because every coin carries the possibility of telling a unique story about where it has traveled and what it has experienced over decades of circulation. As collectors become more experienced, they quickly learn that the true value of a coin is rarely determined by its date alone. Instead, it is the combination of rarity, preservation, appeal, demand, and authenticity that separates an ordinary coin from one that commands impressive prices. This is especially true for the 1994 D. Roosevelt dime. While hundreds of millions were struck, only a tiny percentage remain in exceptional condition, and an even smaller number exhibit genuine mint errors that collectors actively pursue. One of the most exciting aspects of searching for Roosevelt dimes is examining every detail under proper lighting and magnification. Many collectors use a 5x or 10x magnifying glass to inspect the lettering, Roosevelt's portrait, the torch, the olive branch, and the oak branch for anything unusual. Even a small die crack or an interesting strike characteristic can make a coin more desirable than a standard circulation example. Mint luster is another important characteristic. Freshly struck coins leave the dies with microscopic flow lines that reflect light in a unique cartwheel pattern. As a coin circulates, these delicate surfaces gradually wear away. A 1994 D dime that still displays full original mint luster after decades is much harder to find than most people realize, particularly if it has never been cleaned or improperly stored. Cleaning is one of the biggest mistakes new collectors make. Many people believe polishing a coin will increase its value because it makes the coin appear brighter. In reality, cleaning often removes the original surface and leaves hairline scratches that permanently reduce collector value. Professional graders can usually recognize clean coins immediately, and such coins often receive lower grades or special designations indicating altered surfaces. Storage also plays a major role in preserving condition. Moisture, fingerprints, humidity, and improper handling can slowly damage a coin over time. Experienced collectors hold coins only by the edges and store them in protective holders that minimize exposure to the environment. A coin carefully preserved since 1994 has a much better chance of remaining in premium condition than one that spent years circulating in pockets and cash registers. The Denver Mint produced an enormous number of dimes during 1994 to meet the nation's need for circulating coinage. Because of this high production, finding a normal example is easy. Finding one with nearly flawless surfaces, exceptional strike quality, and outstanding eye appeal is much more challenging. That difference explains why certified high-grade examples can sell for substantially more than ordinary circulated coins, although values remain far below sensational internet rumors. Internet stories often claim that everyday pocket change is worth millions of dollars. These headlines attract attention, but responsible collectors always verify such claims through reputable auction records, certified grading companies, and trusted price guides. In reality, the most valuable Roosevelt dimes are usually those with documented rarity, extraordinary preservation, or significant mint errors rather than standard circulation pieces. Coin collecting is about much more than finding a valuable coin. Every coin represents a small piece of American history. The 1994 D dime may have traveled through countless hands, paid for everyday purchases, crossed state lines, and remained in circulation for decades before ending up in someone's collection. Each scratch and mark tells part of that journey. Many collectors begin with nothing more than the loose change in their pockets. Over time, they learn how to identify different mint marks, understand grading standards, recognize genuine mint errors, and appreciate the craftsmanship involved in modern coin production. What starts as simple curiosity often grows into a lifelong hobby that combines history, art, economics, and detective work. Some of the most satisfying discoveries are not necessarily the most expensive ones. Finding an exceptionally preserved coin in circulation can be just as exciting as purchasing an expensive certified specimen because it reflects patience, observation, and knowledge. Every search teaches collectors something new and sharpens their ability to recognize quality. As technology advances, collectors also benefit from online resources, digital auction archives, and educational communities where they can compare coins and learn from experienced numismatists. This has made coin collecting more accessible than ever before, allowing beginners to develop their skills without needing decades of experience. The 1994 D. Roosevelt dime remains an interesting coin because it reminds collectors that value is determined by evidence rather than speculation. While most examples remain worth only their face value or a modest premium in uncirculated condition, genuine mint errors and superb certified examples continue to attract attention within the hobby. Understanding the difference between hype and reality is one of the most valuable lessons any collector can learn. Before spending or setting aside any coin, take a few extra moments to examine it carefully. Check the date, the mint mark, the overall condition, and look for anything unusual. That habit costs nothing, improves your collecting knowledge, and occasionally leads to exciting discoveries. The next time you receive change, don't dismiss that small dime without a second glance. It may simply be another ordinary 10-cent coin that has faithfully served in circulation for decades. Or it could become the coin that inspires you to begin an incredible journey into the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, craftsmanship, and curiosity come together in the palm of your hand. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1994 D. Roosevelt dime, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos covering rare coins, mint errors, valuable discoveries, grading tips, and fascinating stories from the world of coin collecting. And remember, the next remarkable find could already be waiting in your pocket change.